Hello YouTube friends, welcome to the last homely house. I'm down in my cabin this morning. I've just got a few little bits of stitching to do before Anna comes in, and I love to be down here in the cabin in the early morning. It's nice and cool down here. And usually when I'm here I'm just working on this project, which is a blanket I'm making for the bed platform here. Do you remember I made that Cantha quilt not long ago for the cabin? And this crochet blanket is going to be quite big, and it's going to be the length of the bed, and I'm really enjoying these muted colours. Not at all my usual style, very much cabin colours. And so I usually sit down here, listen to an audiobook or some music, or just listen to the silence and make a few of these. But at the moment I've brought down my stash of Liberty fabric because I've got a couple of Liberty projects that I'm doing, and this one here that I'm working on is one of the patchwork dogs that I like to make. And there's a baby due later in the year to my niece, and I hope you're not watching this because this is supposed to be a surprise. But I'm making a little dog. I often do make dogs for new babies. This one's all pink because they already know that it's a little girl, and I'm sitting here and stitching this together just when I've got a spare few minutes. But I brought the Liberty down to the cabin because I'm also working on another project for my son and his wife's baby. Do you remember I made Agnes a quilt when she was born? Well, this little one needs a quilt. And when I was at the Festival of Quilts last year, I bought lots of beautiful Liberty fabric and these templates with an idea that I would make this particular type of quilt for this baby. So I'm going to take all of this Liberty back up to the house, and I'll explain to you how that one's coming together. I'll leave the dog here though, because that's a lovely thing to stitch on when I'm down here in the mornings or the evenings. So come on, let's go back up to the house. Anna will be here soon, so she can help me do the filming. Well, we're back up in the house now, and I'm going to make some of these today and spend a bit of time sewing these together. But I'm going to explain to you the design that I'm using. Now, these templates, I bought these when I was at the Festival of Quilts last year, and the way that you measure a template is by the side of one long side here, so this is 2 inches, and by the angle, and this is a 60-degree diamond with a 2-inch side. So that will be how you would find the right templates if you wanted to make exactly this. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and it can be a little bit bewildering. Okay, so I'm going to make this design. I'm loving these Liberty fabrics, and I've sewn a couple together to see how they look. And I'm making this block that's called Baby's Blocks or Tumbling Blocks, and it gives the illusion of a box with a lid and 2 sides. And the way that the illusion works best is if you've got, well, like I have here, a plain at the top, and then a very dark one and a light one here. And so a dark one here and a light one here with the pink on top. So I've got a few of these Tana lawn in these lovely plains, and a huge amount of these lovely patterns, so I can put all of these blocks together. I think it's going to look lovely when it's done, and it will create this sort of, well, I'll show you what it will create, because many years ago I made a tumbling blocks quilt, a really small one. It's just here. I'm going to show you. I was in my 20s when I made this, and it's faded a lot since I made it, but you can see that this pink here is the top of the box, and these two are the sides here, and they create this lovely illusion of boxes. And I wrote about this in my book of things, which is because in this book I wrote about 20 things that I absolutely love, and this is one of them, and it's right here, and I wrote about it on this page here and tell a story about how I made it and why I made it. Are you going to come and say hello to it, Rita? The cat's showing quite a bit of interest. So this is a Tumbling Blocks quilt, and so is this. So after all these years, I'm revisiting this quilt. These books are available in my shop, by the way, and the link's in the description below if you're interested in seeing those. I'm going to sew these together then. I could have stuck all to one colour palette and made them all pinks, but I've got some lovely blues in there as well, and some of these lovely blue plains here. So I'm really looking forward to today because I'm going to do quite a bit of hand stitching and see how far I can get with this. Now I've got 2 grandchildren who are around about a year old now. This is for one of them, and this over my shoulder is for the other one. Quite a different style, very geometric shapes and very bold colours. And a few people have asked me where I bought the templates for this one, and I cut the templates myself for this quilt, the plus quilt behind me. I downloaded the pattern and I printed it out and cut them with my modelling knife. And that's how I got those very accurately. I've never found anywhere that sells these blocks in the size that I wanted them. These, though, are really easily available. Okay, so I'm going to set myself up then with my lovely thread, my scissors, my thimble, my cat. I better give her a bit of love before I get started, really. You don't see the cat very often, do you? She's quite a shy cat. But I guess when I start talking, she thinks I'm talking to her. No, you can't sleep in the Liberty. That is so against the rules. Come on, Rita, stop that. So I'm going to pair up some more lights and darks. I've got some plains already basted, and I'm going to make quite a few of these. I've no idea how big this quilt's going to be. I think I'm just going to keep going until it's as big as I want it to be. That's what I did with Agnes's. Agnes's started off as a little cot quilt, a bit like this one. And it grew and grew and grew like she did. And so that might happen with this one too, and with that one. Right, I'm going to settle down then and do some pairing up and some sewing. This Liberty fabric is just so beautiful. When I've got 3 like that, I'll pin them on here. With this shape, there are so many different ways you can lay it out. So let's just have a look at a few. It makes a lovely chevron pattern, like that. Let's see what this would look like. How cool is that? Let's just do a few more and see where they take us. So that's one way that this pattern will come together. And when I started out making this, we had a different design going. And Rita and I looked at that and redesigned it so that we would then make this Tumbling Blocks, which we both prefer. But along with all other sorts of English paper pieces, there's so many different ways of laying them out. And that would be cool, wouldn't it? Just having 2 colours. Oh, I like that. That would look nice. So if you're going to make something like this, and like I have, I encourage you to try and play with all the different layouts that there are. Pinterest is a good place for that. This is where I looked for the Tumbling Blocks pattern that Rita and I finally did choose. To look at some of those layouts there. So I really like these. I like these plains. I like how they change the mood of the whole thing by having somewhere to rest your eye away from all those patterns. So play, that's what I'd say. And I love that we've hit on this one now. It's going to be a lovely fun quilt to make, because if you look at that, that is now a hexagon. And so this will fit together like a hexagon quilt. So that's what I've created, a hexagon. Watch this space. Oh, well, it's the end of the day. It's a little bit cooler. Put my coat on. And after a busy day like this one, I like to come down to the cabin to do a little bit of sewing or a little bit of crochet. But I'm going to sew because this Liberty Patchwork dog is all laid out here. And I've been enjoying sewing Liberty today. So I've done quite a bit on the Tumbling Blocks quilt, which is coming along nicely. It's going to take me a long time because I'd like it to be really quite big. And so we're not going to hold our breaths for a finish on that one anytime soon. But I've got some thread here, and I've got thread in my pocket. No, it's this. I'll use this new one here. So I'll get myself going. Here we go. I've got a needle. Oh, actually that one is already primed. So I've cleared all round. John, my son, came for a supper. He sometimes does that on a Wednesday, and today's Wednesday. And so that was really lovely to have him for supper. So I've just cleared all round from that and put everything away, ready for a new day. But before I settle down for the evening, I thought I'd just come and spend some time here in the cabin. It's just so peaceful. So I've loved my day. I think there's nothing I like better than stitching on Liberty fabric. A nice well-basted shape to stitch on. And so that quilt that I'm making for my granddaughter, I don't know how big it's going to be. I'd just like to keep going with it. I have plenty of fabric and I'll just keep going until it's the size that I want it to be. And who knows how long that'll take me, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that. And so, but what I really want to do is get on as well with the plus quilt. That's another project that's sitting there waiting to be done. So whatever mood I'm in, that's what I'll do. But for now though, that's the end of my day. I'll sit here for a little bit longer, and I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video right from the very early morning right through to now, which is quite late in the evening. The sun's going down, but it's middle of the year, and so it doesn't get properly dark until quite late. And so thank you for watching. I cooked my son John some supper, and I made a video about that, but that's over on Patreon, because I often do the family videos and the cooking and that kind of thing. I often do those for my patrons. They're a little bit less edited, a little bit more behind the scenes, and so that one will be coming up soon for the Patreon channel. And then as I'm recording this, the garden channel video is live about the green roof on top of the cabin. So if you don't know what I'm talking about with the garden channel, I started a second channel all about the things that I'm doing in the garden, the building of the cabin, the digging of the pond, all of that. And all those videos are numbered. So number 15 has just gone out. So if you wanted to hop over to the Last Homely Garden, you'll be able to find out about that one. But here on the Last Homely House, where I love to make content for you, this video is coming to an end now. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up. The goose is just outside the door, preening herself before she settles down for the night as well. I have a little game with myself when I'm coming down here to see if I can get down to the cabin without alerting the goose and without making her squawk away. Never manage it usually, occasionally, but not often. She's a very, very good guard dog. That's why people have geese, isn't it? To be guard dogs, I think. I really need my glasses on. There we go, I can see what I'm doing better now. So thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you here very, very soon.